NFL, we talked about this earlier on our Discord, is that 'tis the season for the crimes to be committed, and these guys getting in trouble, and throughout the NFL, and it just mind boggles me, and it just seems like this time of year is when it really happens. Most of the time, it's like right after. I mean, a lot of times it's right after the Super Bowl or within that Super Bowl period, but but this time of year, as soon as they break OTAs and mandatory minicamps, it's like, good God, these guys can't stay out of trouble for 5. You've only been out of minicamp 5 minutes, and you're already getting in trouble with the law.
That's the
but we'll dive in
version of spring break.
We'll dive into that more. But first, let's talk about our Raiders. That's what we're here for, right? We're here for the nation. Speak some truth, give some facts, throw some opinions around. Do you guys think this roster is complete, Duncan?
I mean, no. I mean, like Spytek said, they're going to continue building this thing the right way. But it's not all going to be complete within one season. And
good point.
And also, if you are starting to think your roster is complete, you're going to start going downhill.
Yeah. Staying satisfied with the status quo.
Yeah.
When we ain't even status quo, we're below status quo.
Yeah.
What about you, Darkside? What's your take on right now as our roster is set before we go into July? What's your take?
Full training camp. I feel like we, what I'm saying, we got some talent. It's not complete. To answer your question, no, it's not complete at all. But I do feel like we got some talent to compete. I don't want to mix those words up, but
that's hard.
Like we will, right? I feel like we will compete. But as far as like the roster being, like you said, top tier or status quo or above, I don't think we're close to that right now.
Yeah.
But I do think we have talent. I feel like we're lacking talent as far as like some depth in like the secondary, and we've already talked about it, like the secondary, mainly on defense and the wide receiver position.
Yeah. Well, I actually think we added some depth in the secondary by the way we draft. Number one, by the way that we drafted, picking up Terrion Johnson from the Buffalo Bills, right? Adding him to that mixture as well. Plus, with what we had last year coming back healthy, I think there's depth, but as overall like super talented secondary, that remains to be seen because some of the stuff that we drafted, it could be pretty good stuff. I mean, I'm quite surprised with what I see. Including one specifically, that kid from Cal, who the coach in his press conference says, "I like what I see. Now I want you to do it in pads." And if it translates if his performance in OTAs translates into pads, I think this is just me saying this. I think the coaching staff will be happy with him, and in turn will make us happy as well with what we have.
Hezekiah, what's his name?
Hakeem
Massis.
Yeah.
I think we talked about him. I like him as a cover guy. I can't remember who it was in the Discord. I ain't been in the Discord in a while. I've just been busy, but I remember somebody talking about him playing slot nickel. I don't see, if he can prove it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like Kubiak said, if he can go into training camp, put the pads on, and prove that he can tackle, then he'll shock me because I didn't see it on his tape. But if he can actually prove it that he can tackle in the NFL, like you said, that'll be a diamond in the rough.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about the secondary, Duncan. What you got over there?
I mean, from what I've heard a little bit, is that the safeties are really going at it and they're being really aggressive in how they're going to be using the safeties this year.
Yeah.
It's basically going to be kind of like a 3-person backfield where they're going to be rotating up in coverage, flipping sides, depending on what the offense is giving, and probably adjust also with the motion on which safety's coming up and covering and all that. So it's good that we're hearing positive stuff, but we also need to take it with a grain of salt because we hear positive stuff this time of year every year.
Everybody's beautiful and physique coming out of OTAs and training camp. Everybody's Super Bowl champions coming out of training camp. Frank Weber, I with this post here, the rosters are adequate, but I don't think they're done adding pieces yet. I agree with you on that. I think there's still some moves. They might not be major moves, but we'll talk about that later. I got a couple of hypotheticals that I could throw at you. Some of it is just coming from me being a longtime Raider fan and seeing, the tea leaves that are laying around that we could pick up and kind of put together, but we'll talk about that later. So second, we're all in consensus that the secondary might not be elite as far as overall talent per se, or in names. And I say that in namesake, right?
Right.
But there are some parts of those guys that we drafted and brought in that you go, it could click with us as a unit and make it probably one of our strengths of our defense. I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes the case. What do you think? I mean, do you think there's enough of what we brought in? I mean, because based on the way he drafted this last draft, he targeted that area. That secondary was a target. It was all hands on deck going in after that secondary and addressing that secondary as a primary.
It's gonna depend on 3 rookies and a second-year player for me. Porter, Masses, McCoy, Stoops. Those are 3 guys who are gonna depend on. Because I think Jeremy Chin is Jeremy Chin. He has his role. I'm not really seeing too much out of IPM.
Polamalu.
Isaiah Polamalu, and Eric Stokes is Eric Stokes, right? Yeah. So, in my opinion, it's just going to depend on those 3 guys and the second-year guy in Porter.
I mean, I'm in agreement with that. The biggest thing I want to say about our secondary, though, is how young they are. So they're going to make mistakes. Like, look at Porter last year, where it really seemed like the first quarter of every game he was lost or chasing. And then by the end of the game, he started coming into his own and looking better. Yeah. That's what gave me hope for Porter to possibly being good in the future. But we're going to have a lot of young guys in that secondary, and we're going to see a lot of miscommunication, little mistakes here and there, dumb handsy penalties. Like, it's going to all happen this year. And hopefully these guys are seeing the field for it to happen this year so we can improve in the future.
Yeah. Baby steps.
I would say that I agree with that about the handsy penalties, the miscommunication issues. I agree with that totally. I think to combat that, if we play, because normally first-year guys, rookie guys play real good man coverage. So if you just put them locked up on a man, you get guys that with speed, which we really have, like guys with speed, and you just blitz. I ain't saying blitz like all out blitz, but if you put pressure on the quarterback, it'll alleviate most of those mistakes. Getting pressure on the quarterback.
That kind of brings up a topic that I've kind of shot towards you, Jason, like a week ago or something, about like, what do we need to see out of our pass rush? Because we got Max, who's our star pass rusher, but he's not a guy who's trying to encroach on that 20-year sack season. He's consistently around the 10 to 15 range. From the team, what do we need to see outside of Max?
Well, that's just it. There's going to be some auxiliary type of pass rush. I don't like the idea of bringing extra bodies to generate a pass rush. If you could do it with a 4-man front, that's the best alternative. It gives you more bodies to defend other parts of the field. So when you're having to rely on a 5- and 6-man pressure, it's like, we're robbing Paul to pay Peter, and I don't want to do that. But there is some side to what we saw last year with Tonka Hemingway and a couple of the other young guys that they're going into their second year. So if they hit that aha moment and we can develop a steady pressure up the middle, that's going to take a lot of the pressure off of Max to where he doesn't have to generate he can stick to what he's supposed to be doing and that's coming off the edge and influencing that quarterback, whether it's with hits, sacks, or just making him very uncomfortable in the pocket. Because as you guys know, for the past few years with Max, is they can slide protect just to his side, and it's not that big a deal, you know. So I would say this: the kid that we drafted at Auburn and number 51 on our team, Kuntz, they are going to have to up their game from the right side. And then Kwity Paye is going to have to be more of a factor in the pass rush as well, because he's not a quarterback sack. He doesn't have a statistical line. Now you watch him play, he does move the pocket. He does get, you know, it's not like he's playing hands with the guard and the tackle at the line of scrimmage. He is getting upfield, but his discipline is something a little bit different than what you would expect out of an elite pass rusher. Sometimes he can take himself out of the play as well, which if he would have stayed more on inside technique, he could probably get an inside sack. Instead, he sacrifices his outside technique and he takes himself out of the play. He can fix that. Those are easy fixes. And I think that a lot of it had to do with the scheme that Indianapolis ran as well. So if he's more of a hand in the dirt type guy for us, I think it's going to be better for him.
Paye can mix it up, but for me, Kwity Paye reminds me a lot of Lamar Houston, who we had quite a few years back.
That's a good comp.
A great, really, really good run stopper, and just kind of okay, inconsistent in the pass rush.
Yeah.
So Kwity Paye is basically a 8 sack a year kind of player. So we're going to have to generate pressure around him too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've only seen a couple half games of him. I went back and found a couple Indianapolis games and kind of watched, and I wasn't disappointed in what I saw. I'm glad we got him. He's very useful. But I wouldn't launch him. I wouldn't launch him into the upper atmosphere of the tier 1, I guess you could say, of the elite pass rushers. But
my 2 cents on that would be, I feel like we'll probably be top 5 or top 7 in simulated pass rush, like dropping a lineman back in coverage and bringing like a Quay Walker or Nakobe Dean. Right. So I feel like we'll be like top 5, top 7 in simulated pass rush. I'm not saying we're going to blitz all the time, like bringing 5 and 6, but I feel like we're going to probably consistently bring 4, but show that we're bringing more. Yeah. And like you said, Crosby, he'll probably be around that 12 sack range. Yeah. I feel like Jeremy Chin and Stoops, they're going to be up there 5 sacks, you know what I'm saying? Either one of them, whoever's that blitzer. But I feel like we're going to be all right. And then my last little thing is, if you think about Khalil Mack's best year with the Raiders, it was when Derek Carr had his MVP caliber season. I feel like our offense is going to help Crosby in the defense a lot more because we're not going to be playing from behind.
Mm-hmm. Well, or at least not 2 scores behind all the time.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if they will help, but they need to. They definitely need to help keep that defense off the field. Right. And the thing I appreciate the most about Kubiak coming in with us is he's not going to give up on that run game. Even if it's not having a very successful day during the game, he's still going to keep going back to it and try to chew up some of that clock and keep the defense that they're playing against honest. And that's going to help keep our defense off the field.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, give a shout out to do a roll call for us on the chat.
Don't mind Duncan. We had very saluted to Alex.
Salute, brother.
Brown Star Slots coming in.
Welcome in, man. Welcome in.
Rorschach coming in.
Rorschach. Hey, brother. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad to see you back, man. Keep in touch, brother.
Yeah, and he had a comment here for you, Jason, saying showing the support on both channels. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep. Still in the basement, spending time with the family, so keep up the great job. Thank you.
Yep. We hear you, brother. We hear you. Bueno says hi too, just so you know.
IE Raider Mike, salute.
Yep. And welcome joining us from the Inland Empire.
John Leon.
Salute. Salute to you, brother. Yeah.
Jeffrey White.
Yep. We'll just call it Jeffrey White. So salute
That's
to
what
you,
I
my
got out
friend.
of it.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks all you guys coming in, stopping by, commenting. We really appreciate it. Why don't you guys comment away on like what do you think some of the points on our team need to be our strengths this year? What could be our weaknesses? And just what are you hopeful for on this season? Let's get some conversation going, and we'd like to have some back and forth with you guys. But we're talking about the defense. Jason, on the offensive side, um, is our receivers as big of a weakness as what a lot of people make it out to be?
Only if we let it. Only if we let it. See that here's where a lot of people get confused is our number one weapon is not a wide receiver. And then I heard a comment on another podcast where, well, Travis Kelce. Okay, you're saying Travis Kelce this. We can't treat Brock Bowers like Travis Kelce. Who's the number one wide receiver on Kansas City's team?
Travis Kelce.
And it has been. Even when they had Tyreek, Kelce was the number one dude. He was the straw that stirred the drink in the passing game. And Brock Bowers is just that, if not, I'll say it. I think he's better than Kelce. I think he's more athletic. He's got better hands and isn't afraid to make mistakes. And when he does make a mistake, he rebounds very quickly from that mistake.
I feel like all the teams that have, if you look at the top five over the last 10, 15 years, the top five tight ends in the league, Buffalo had I can't remember his name,
Knox and Kincaid.
Right, Baltimore had Andrews. San Francisco had Kittle. San Francisco had Kittle. Kansas City had
Kelce.
Like you said, Kelce. Like they're the number one receiver on all of their teams, and it's never an issue until it's I ain't gonna say it's never an issue until it's raised. I hate that narrative, but it's not a problem because those teams I just named had top five tight ends and they were consistently in the playoffs. So
right.
Yeah, and those are all teams that are able to move the football and keep their defense off the field for a long time. Right. Tight ends are a great weapon on being able to be a little safety outlet because they're normally bigger players that are too athletic for their size that can get the ball reliably. Whether it's little short tosses that us Raider fans tended to hate with Carr and his checkdowns, but like, look, if you're making those checkdowns and you're able to keep moving the chains, you're keeping your defense off the field, and they're able to stay rested and come in hot.
The beautiful thing about Brock is even if he's covered, he's open.
Yeah, he is going to get that ball.
He's gonna get that ball, or if it's going to be one hell of a fight for that ball. So it's not going to be. I mean, granted, the quarterback's going to have to make the right throw, put the ball in the right place for him to make that. But either or, he makes plays on the ball. He catches the ball when he needs to catch it. So it's not like, and I get it. The number one we do need a number one wide receiver, but does he have to be that guy? Does he have to be the one that everybody, thinks it? He's the all pro, Pro Bowl, say what you will type player? Or could it be just a guy that, okay, you're the number one wide receiver when it comes to these certain concepts of the passing game, and then it trickles down from there. But Brock is going to be the giddy up, okay, and just understand that we're not going to throw you the ball 15 times in a game just to make you happy. Okay, there's gonna be games you're gonna get 6-7 tosses at you. Then there might be a game where you're gonna get 12 or 13. I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. We don't need that guy. We don't need a wide receiver that says you have to throw it to me 15 times a game or I'm gonna throw my helmet on the sideline. We don't need that.
Well, another part of it too is we need a running game too. So hopefully
that's where it all starts.
Hopefully our O-line starts coming together.
Yeah.
and Genty's able to bounce off of them and
Yeah.
start actually looking like the first round pick that we drafted him as.
Yeah. And when you're down by 3 points going into the third quarter, and your running back has 7 yards on 6 carries, do you stop giving him the ball? Because he had the 7 yards on 6 carries, not very good, but he had an 11-yard and a 13-yard run.
Yeah.
So it's like at some point you're gonna break that thing. You got to stay true to it, to the run game, and especially with Kubiak's style of offense. You got to stay true to that run game. Otherwise, none of it's going to work.
Yeah. And just being able to stay honest to the run game and then having your safety outlet in Brock, like you're going to have a somewhat decent looking offense. And now we're going to be able to see how Kubiak actually plays around with these receivers and how they work to get these guys open. And it's going to be up to the quarterback to be able to dice up the defense. And hopefully with Kirk or Mendoza, or some people out there want to hear Aiden, like hopefully they can take advantage of this offense.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, we'll see how that pans out. But for the most part, I think what we have, I'm not happy with it. But then again, there's a lot of unknown with it as well.
Yeah.
To where we just don't know. And then coming to Alex here with Justin Jefferson's not a diva, because there's an insinuation that we're talking about Justin Jefferson, and this whole mantra of this show was trades and rumors, correct? So let's talk about that rumor. Darkside, what's your take on the rumor that we trade for Justin Jefferson?
What are you going to give up for him? That's my big thing. Like, what are you giving up for him?
From the rumor that was shared to me, which was like just a little Instagram thing, it was a first and a third.
Okay. And do you think that's adequate enough?
Well, I don't think the Vikings would take that.
Yeah, I was thinking like first, I would do that. That's not bad.
As a Raider, I would definitely do that. I don't see how the Vikings would think that's a fair trade. Like we're asking for 2 firsts for a max, and like that's not going to happen. I'd definitely say Justin Jefferson's a little bit higher rated of a player than Crosby is.
Yeah. Well, my thing about it is that if it is a first and a third, my theory is that Spytech looks at it, and that's all he has to give up to get a Justin Jefferson on our team. First round pick next year is most likely going to be the best player available, which is going to probably most be when we pick is going to be a wide receiver. Somewhere along the lines, there's going to be 3 or 4 wide receivers that are going to be top first round talent, and they're going to be at that point where, if with the first round pick, that's who we're taking. We're taking that elite playmaking wide receiver. But if you just want to say, okay, we'll sell our first round pick to go ahead and get this guy that's already a proven commodity, right? Probably the best receiver, if not top 3 in the NFL, hands down, who has history with Kirk Cousins, right? In the long run, I don't see the problem in it. Here's the only catch that I have is, if your mentality is to build this thing slow and deliberate, then making a quick snatch trade like that totally defeats what your narrative has been since we started this thing.
Yeah. Plus, with you having a rookie quarterback that we just drafted, you would want to go and get a top tier receiver to grow up with them. Like, yeah, we have Bowers that's going to grow with them. Hopefully we're able to re-sign him, which as long as things start turning around here, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get Bowers back. I mean, worst case scenario, money always talks.
Yeah.
But you also want to make sure he has a plethora of guys that he can consistently go to. And drafting a receiver in this next draft would be nice. But who's to say that the offense doesn't actually look better than what we're thinking, and what Kubiak's able to do with the receivers we have? Why are they not able to keep patchworking together something kind of similar how the Patriots did? and then go and invest in more defense or other offensive linemen, just other positions. Because we could very well be in a position where we could get the top edge rusher or D tackle in next year's draft, and both those guys are monsters.
Listen, my ideal situation right now for the next 2 years, I'm gonna just the first round pick. I'm getting the best edge, or like you said, best edge or D tackle, and this is me being very, very, very biased. I'm getting the best edge or defensive tackle next year, and then the year after that, I'm going all in for Malachi Tony.
Well, you're a Miami fan. Tony's awesome, and
I love Tony. Dude, Tony is
yeah,
he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
He looked special last year as a freshman, and
and he's got good
character. He continues to grow.
He's actually got good character to him as well.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't be like a organizational defunct. Alex, real quick, I'm going to answer your question real quick because you put in a chat. I'm bringing your chat back up. Justin Jefferson is not a diva. I agree. I 100% agree with that. He's flashy, but he's not a diva. He is a team guy, and he has goals and aspirations of being a coach one day, in this league. And so he always is willing to share his knowledge and forethought with other players. He's not one of those takes his talent and runs with it, and when the game's over, he just walks off the field with his uniform still on, walking around town, type person. He's pretty legit guy. A lot of people mistake him for being flashy because of the gold chain and his tee. You got to look past that. He's if you actually watch him in his interviews and when he's a straightforward dude, man. I actually like him. I really like him as a person and as a player.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. You don't hear any drama from him, so if there is any, he knows how to keep it behind closed doors.
Yeah. But he's also an upfront guy too. I mean, he's one of those guys that if he has an issue with you, he'll let you know. He doesn't let doesn't let stuff like that drag him down, but he'll let you know.
He let Kirk know during a game one time.
Oh, yeah. And they're still good friends.
Yeah.
So it's not, that's why I mean, I think he would like to come and play with Kirk and Clint Kubiak. I really do. I think when you hear that rumor, you go, there's a part of me that thinks that's a possibility, and because what the quarterback situation that they have right now in Minnesota is not to his liking. I don't think he wants to run with JJ McCarthy. Kyler Murray might be a little bit different.
I wouldn't mind if we were ready to win now. If we're ready to win right now, then I but we're not ready to win right now.
That's the key. That's the key. And we'll talk about it. I have a hypothetical.
This is equivalent to us trading for Devontae Adams. It's just crazy. You're just trading for a name at this point. But
at least with Devontae, we were coming off a playoff win.
Yeah.
We had a quarterback that he was familiar with, that they both had history with, and there was some substance there to that trade. It made sense at the time. It's like, if we're going to win, we don't need those picks because they're going to be 27th, 28th, or 32nd pick of the draft anyways. That's why the 49ers and the Rams and the Chiefs and these guys that are constantly picking in the late 20s and in the early 30s, that's where they're like, those picks mean nothing to us now. If we can get that player right now to win, because it's just a piece that we're, just a piece of the puzzle and not the whole puzzle itself, then make that move. But we still have a whole puzzle to put together. So to try and buy one piece and sacrifice what we're doing to get that one piece, that's the difficult part. As a Raider fan, as a true Raider fan, longtime Raider fan, we also have PTSD with those because we tried it with Randy Moss. We tried it with Antonio Brown. We tried it with Devontae Adams, and it just didn't work out, because you also got to take into consideration too, when you make that trade, you trade a team, draft capital for a player. He might not want to play for the Raiders. He might get here and go, I don't like this situation either. This is worse than the one I came from. So why would I want to play here? And now what? We just gave up a first and third round pick. Now we have a player that doesn't want to play for us. Okay, whether it be whatever reason, he's afraid he's getting hospital balls, or his helmet doesn't fit, or I don't want to run crossing routes on a infield dirt, whatever it might be. That's the gamble that you take when you make those trades, because now you're, like I said, you're bringing a guy that it's not his choice to come here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you got to deal with that as well. And you just gave up a first and a third round pick.
Yeah. But my stance right now is let's go through the season and see what we got. If we start bringing in pieces to try to start pushing our performance for a little bit extra wins this year, we may not see what we have in our younger guys like last year. Like we ended up bringing Lockett in. He's taking time away from Besh and Thornton and all these other younger guys that we had in the receiver roster. Now we have no idea what we have in them. We don't know how good Besh could actually be because he got the ball thrown to him like once or twice a game, and he did play.
Yeah.
But yeah, my stance is let's just go through the season and see what we got. If it's completely fallen apart early on, maybe we can get a good trade for Crosby, get a first-round pick, and maybe a second-round pick if we're lucky. I think with the Garrett trade, I think Max's stock took a hit because we saw basically a first-round caliber player in Verse, and then they got a first-round pick, second-round pick, and a third-round pick for Garrett. So I think Crosby's probably sitting around a first and a second.
And they got a first-round talent in Verse too.
Yeah, that was what I mentioned first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But real quick, let's hit up the chat. 805 came in. Salute.
What's up, 805? Salute to you, brother.
Jack Gustav Vest. Salute. IE Raider Mark saying the Raiders will be drafting their number one receiver, Jeremiah Smith. Just stay patient and build this team right. I completely agree. Smith may be the pick. He may not be. It all depends on how we finish. I'm thinking we're probably going to be finishing around like the 8th to 14th pick. So Smith may not be in our cards. So we may have to be looking at like the third or fourth best receiver if we're looking at receiver, or maybe a defensive player, because the offensive side seems like it might be stacked, but this is before the season's even played. Then John Leon says, if Max is traded, give that pick to get Jefferson. Well, if we're trading away Max, we're probably not in the best position as a team, so I don't see us trading for Jefferson. If this all happened like right now, okay, maybe, sure, fine. You kind of swap in one piece for another. Like, I don't mind that, but it probably more than likely, if a Max trade happens, it'll be during the season before the trade deadline, I think. Do you guys have any thoughts on the Max trade topic?
I don't understand why it's still a topic at this point. He's saying it's way different than in January when he wasn't even talking about us, right? He wasn't speaking. He wouldn't say the Raiders, right? But now he's completely saying he wants to be a Raider. The front office is saying he's going to be here. Clint Kubiak is saying he's here. At this point, it's just June, July talk, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean,
until the game starts.
Partly to answer like why you don't understand it is once that door is open, it's not closing. So
I mean, I understand that part. I'm talking about like, why is this? I mean, again, it's just June, July talk.
Yeah,
I don't think it has any layers. I just think it's just talk.
Yeah, which I kind of throw that Jefferson talk in there too. It's June, July talk. It's something to keep us interested, keep talking about football. Like, oh, wouldn't that be awesome if we had Jefferson on our team?
Right.
And shallow thoughts are like, yeah, I'd love Jefferson on my team. But then you start thinking like, well, what would it take? What do we need to happen? If it were to happen, should it happen before the season starts, or should we wait to see how the season starts playing? Like, if we're 5-0 and we're looking damn good, like, would a Jefferson trade start making sense?
No.
I agree. I wouldn't do it either.
That's when it becomes a hell no right then and there, because we're winning with what we have.
and then we can
go into the
building with
draft
young
and build.
talent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Completely agree.
yeah. So there's no, I mean, if we already had a substantial All Pro, Pro Bowl caliber roster with, 2 or 3 Pro Bowlers or 2 or 3 All Pro potential on each side with 6 or 7 Pro Bowlers, and we're perennial playoff player team. We'll go a couple years in the playoffs. Now it's just like, okay, we just need to add an extra piece to get us over the hump. Then yeah, you make a trade like that. You do that. It makes sense. But at this point, stick to your plan. We're going to build this. We're going to build it the right way. We're going to take our time and do it right.
Yeah.
Don't get excited and go, oh, we can make this trade right now. And it's like, is it going to set you back?
Yeah. Alex is saying, we'll just send them Max and we get Justin Jefferson. He's 27, younger than Max. I mean, there's give and take to it. Okay, we get Jefferson. We'll know we'll have Jefferson for what, 2 or 3 seasons, I think?
2 years. 2 years. 28 is contract expires after 28.
Okay. So that gives him time to see if Mendoza's legit and he wants to stay with the Raiders, or say, see you, bye. Okay. Max, I think, hit the end of his contract's 28 also?
Yes.
Or is it? So as far as like star player contract money moving stuff goes, like it's going to play out the same as with Max. So it's basically, do you want to take Jefferson on offense or do you want to take Crosby on defense? And I think it's kind of like a lateral move for us right now. Just because we need to see what we have with the pieces we got. IE Raider Mike saying Jefferson playing with a whole lot of ice as he might be a bit of a diva. I don't think that means that at all. Different people like different things, have different hobbies. If his is making himself look like a Christmas tree, go for it. That means you're not wasting your time on the streets doing something stupid or hitting your woman. Like, you're going and doing stuff that you like and enjoy and staying out of trouble. Go for it.
Yeah, the diva part is that what I consider the diva is the one that's going to be throwing his helmet, sitting by himself on the bench, showing up late to meetings, only running the routes that he wants to run in practice, not fully engaged, not fully participating.
Deontay Johnson is the perfect guy to say he's a diva.
Yeah,
he's not in the league no more, but that's the diva.
Yeah.
Well,
his talent would have kept him in the league, but his mind didn't. And Brandon Ayuk is another perfect example of it.
Ayuk,
he's got tons of talent, could be an elite top 5 wide receiver in this league, but something just went off in that cat's brain. And it happened quick because it's like he literally went sideways right after signing a lucrative contract. It's like, dude, you hundreds of millions of dollars that you're sacrificing by doing this stupidity. What is wrong with you?
Well, plus, look at it this way: like, the only drama whatsoever put in with Jefferson's name is somebody saying if Jefferson was traded, the Raiders would be a good place for him to land. Like, that's not drama at all. That's not him being a diva. That's fans being fans and talking about stuff when there's no football to be had right now.
And that's NFL insiders are putting that together because the tea leaves are all there, right? Their tea leaves are all there. So we've harped on the Jefferson trade and the rumors with Max. Is there any other kind of trades out there? Any other rumors that link the Raiders? I mean, I've heard one of the trades that I heard scenarios was a 3-team trade with, I believe it was Tennessee, where they'd sit in Pickens, get Wandell, that we would trade Max, get the Cowboys for and then there was and then we would get Tennessee's 2nd round pick and yada yada yada. But there's some other hypotheticals out there, and
I got a hypothetical. And this solely depends on Caleb Rogers and Trey Zoon, like the rest of the offensive line. But JPJ to Tampa Bay for either Vita Vea or
You're stealing my freaking thunder.
Oh, my bad.
That was Jason's trade guy.
Oh, wow,
He's been telling me for a few days.
You're stealing my thunder.
I said that on Discord like a month ago though.
No. Well, I never saw it.
Oh, okay. Now you good.
I never saw it.
It is.
I went off of go ahead, finish what you were saying, and I'll rebuttal you. That was it?
Yeah.
So JPJ, so what you're saying is we get into week 2 and week 3 of training camp, and Caleb Rogers and Trey Zune and Meredith, you got to throw Meredith in there too.
Meredith, right? Yeah.
Okay, those 3 guys solidify our guard
position. I wasn't even thinking Meredith. I was thinking Trey Zune, Caleb Rogers, and Spencer Burford. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meredith we'll throw him going to be a backup.
Yeah. Well, Meredith at guard, and shout out to 805. Salute to you, brother. Meredith at guard, when the first year he played with us at guard, played really well.
Yeah.
He played.
It's when the
passing downs.
Yeah, it's when old Brendan Carroll and the boys, Pete Carroll and the boys showed up and said, "Oh, you're going to play center." You know, it's like, what's he going to say? No,
right?
But you could hear him in his interviews. Like, I know, yeah, it's a learning process. You can see in his facial expression. But anyways, thank you so much, Dark Side. We've had a great show tonight, people. No, I'm just kidding. I was saving that piece because I came off of in Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield's in a contract dispute, right, or a negotiations dispute. He's already come out and said, if nothing's done by training camp, then I'm not talking contract, which is a smart thing to do because at that point, I want to play football. Okay. The business side will take care of the business side later. I'm going to play football because I can't be worrying about business side of stuff when I've got to learn the playbook. I've got to get my team ready. We got to get reps in. We're doing meetings, spending 8, 10, 12 hours a day, perfecting his craft, getting ready for the season to help his team win. 100% agree with that. That's a great way to go about doing it as an NFL player. But you have Vita Vea that has no guaranteed money left on his contract, right? So he comes out and says, and it just comes down at that point. It just comes down. He wants his guarantee. He wants more guaranteed money. It's not so much about making him the highest paid defensive tackle or giving him Jeffrey Simmons money or anything like that. It's just making it palatable for him to know that he's got guaranteed money coming to him as he continues to play the game. Because once you get away from that guaranteed money, you're kind of playing. You're not playing with house money at that point. So it's a bigger gamble when it comes to the injury and things like that. We are in a position to where we could probably give him a restructured contract, a little bit more if needed, not over the top. But give him his guaranteed money. Give him an $18 to $19 million guaranteed contract for 2026 and 2027, and then make 2028 his optional buyout where he can or we can get out from underneath it. Excuse me. Looking at his overall, I like Vita Vea. Okay. I like him a lot. Now, for those of you that are out there in chat land, you're probably going through Google looking at stats. Okay. He plays a position that stats don't mean shit. Okay. Yeah. Just so you know, if you go watch him play, he still makes a huge difference on that defensive line. Now, granted, Tampa Bay's run defense it wasn't the greatest. I think they were like 23rd or 24th in the NFL in run defense. But there were actually times when he was playing that they would give up chunks of yards, and then all of a sudden, boom, the wall would hit and they would shut people down. Yeah. So there was a lot of empty calories in that evaluation of their total defense. But if you look and watch him play, that guy for 22 to 28 snaps of the game is still top 5 in the NFL in interior defensive tackle and run stoppage and providing a little bit of pressure. And
what do you think about Kalijah Kancey though?
How
Because
old
I
is
was
he?
really, I was mad. He was just drafted. This is his third year.
Third year. Yeah. So
He might be like
so
24.
here's my this is where I was going to go with Vita Vea. He has history of Spike Tech. He has history with Tom Brady. Okay. So there's already those relationships that are established and built that are solid. That you'll never take those away from them. So that in and of itself plays a part where I was going with this and what the tea leaves that I see laying on the ground that I'm picking up and putting together. Okay. You have that. You have him wanting guaranteed money. He's 31 years old. Okay. But he doesn't have a huge, serious injury history. Okay. So it's not like he's missed buckets and buckets of games. He's missed a game here, a couple games there. You know, some of those injuries are like, it's better that he not play, you know, come back the following week and he's back at it again. Not a problem. Bigger guys sometimes take a little bit longer to heal than the skill players. I totally get it. Understand. I'm a big guy myself, you know, so sometimes those little muscle tweaks and things like that. So that's another thing. It's like, okay, we're not taking on somebody else's liability in the injury field, right? So check that box. That would be a good trade. And I truly think, and this is my proposal based on what I've seen and what I've read and the way I've looked at it, I think we can really honestly get him for a 3rd round pick and a conditional 5th round pick in 2028. And that conditional would become a 4th round pick if he makes Pro Bowl or a pro.
My only thing is with him being 31, all it takes is one like decent, not even like a really bad injury, but like just a decent injury for him to call it a career, especially if he has guaranteed money. He could just end up pulling a Warren Sapp on us. He gets his money.
He's not
get
built
the
that
injury,
way,
and then he's done.
but
when you start getting older in those years and your body, when you start feeling your body getting worn down, like then that's when you start questioning it.
Nah.
So once you're past your 30s and you get that one like real good hit or one real good injury, like and you start questioning it, chances are you may just end up, okay, I got my money, bye.
The why am I still doing this attitude? I get that. And I totally agree. I totally agree with you. That's kind of I mean, obviously, if he's younger, the price of the trade goes up. You know?
But a 3rd and a 4th round pick for a 31-year-old player, that seems kind of steep also.
Yeah, I wouldn't do a 3rd and 4th. I wouldn't do that. I would probably do a day 3 and maybe a conditional, like I said, 5th to 4th or something like that.
I only say 3rd because I think the 3rd round pick is the carrot that dangles. And you guys know we can make up a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
We can get back into it's not hard to get back into the 3rd round. In fact, that's probably one of the easiest rounds to recuperate any of your lost draft picks.
Yeah, because that's conditional too. Conditional round starts in there. But I would say the only way I would do a 3rd round pick is like week 6 if we're like legitimately in the playoff hunt.
And we need interior D-line help.
What about but look at it this way. If we bring him in during camp, then now our younger guys have that, our younger interior defensive linemen, Jonah Lalu, Tonka Hemingway, JJ Pegues, those guys, they have somebody they can work off of.
Well,
you know, they can learn from. And I'm not saying mentor, I'm not saying bring in Vita Vea, come in to be a mentor, but there's a lot of times that those type of players, they come into a franchise like that and they unlock that aha moment in the younger guys, you know.
But the other problem is we already have a crowded interior D-line room. Like they have those guys already. I think we have 7 guys on the roster right now that all have with a legitimate shot of getting decent playing time.
Yeah, with the 3-4 we'd carry on. I think we'd carry 5, at least 5 on the active roster. Running at 3-4.
But what I'm saying is like with us already having 7 guys that are like they're legitimate NFL roster guys, none of them are star-studded. Like Vita Vea probably would be the best name on that list and probably would be able to be the best player on that list too. But it kind of puts us back in that situation of talking about the receivers where we bring in a Vita Vea. Now he's taking up all these snaps from the younger guys. And
But I
then
don't
we're
think
not able to get as many snaps from them and see what they're actually capable of.
I don't think he would take in that situation. He's not going to hog up all the snaps, because you're looking at
field for your first and second downs,
22 to 28 snaps a game. It'd probably be somewhere where he's going to be in the first 2 series on defense, and then the third series he's going to be out, and then the other guys are going to rotate in with him as well. Yes, he is a first and second down threat. He's even very productive in third down, especially sniffing out the screen passes and the draws. He is phenomenal at that. So that's another thing too. It's like, okay, when do you know it's going to be a screen pass? When do you know it's going to be a draw? It's like, well, he stepped back, but he's still leaning over his toes, so I know he's going to go forward at some time. So that tells me it's gonna be a screen pass, because he's gonna want to bite me upfield, let me go, and get behind me. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, like I said earlier, like when it comes to the trading and stuff, I'm completely fine with just sitting tight with what we got and see what we have. Like, I'm not expecting us to push for playoffs. I'm not expecting a big miraculous turnaround for this season. Like, I'm buying into what Spytek's selling, and that's slowly building things the right way over time. So this year, I'm hoping we look better and competitive. Yeah. And then next year and the following year is when we start taking those steps, like maybe playoffs are there. Maybe we're right there at that door knocking. And then hopefully in 2 or 3 seasons, we can actually start considering ourselves a legitimate playoff football team. I don't see Vita Vea being that guy that helps us push for the future, like, because he's going to be a shorter term guy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking more Kalijah Cansey. But even still, it's a pack interior D line room, like I said. It would make more sense to get like edge help or something. But I just said Kalijah Cansey because Spotted was there when he drafted, and I think it was a thing out there that the last few drafts he like kind of led the charge, or it was kind of like the lead man or something for Jason Light. So I don't know. It was just a thought that I had.
Well, I mean, here's another possible trade partner for us if we did make a trade would be the Texans. The Texans are 2 years in a row now. We've had good trades with them in the draft. Maybe it goes past that. If JPJ ends up being on the short end of the stick when it comes to the guard competition, and the Texans need offensive line help, maybe there's a team we could go call on. Like, hey, we got JPJ here. I mean, you guys could be using some O-line help. Like, what would you be willing to give us, kind of thing? Like, is there a player on there that we could make a lateral move where we send them JPJ and we get, whether it be defensive or offensive?
I don't know. I don't know about the Texans, but I was looking at the I know you was bringing up Texans, but I was looking at the Giants too. I know they was want to come off of Kayvon Thibodeau, and he's pretty young. He's like mid-20s, edge guy.
Did he just get his contract?
Yeah,
or he's in the talks for it?
I think he's. Hold on, let me look at it.
While he's looking up Thibodeau's contract, Jason, what do you think about Texans being a possible trade partner?
No, they've been a good trade partner in the draft. I know that.
Yeah.
Seems like ever since we got Spytek, that second and third round, they're blowing each other's phone up.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If JPJ is a trade piece, I don't think we have to really necessarily trade him specifically for an interior offensive lineman. I think we could use that trade piece as another piece of the puzzle somewhere else on the team. Interior defensive lineman, maybe even a top quality linebacker that could be a rotational piece with the 2 linebackers we had. Adds depth, right?
Yeah.
Adds a little depth. So it's one of those guys that, maybe like and I can't think of any names right now. I apologize, but there are some linebackers out there that are, not top tier, but they're really good and when they do play, they make a difference on their team. And bringing like what's his name that we brought in from Pittsburgh that's now playing for New England, Spillane.
Yeah.
Something like that, where when he does get his reps on the field, they're going to count. Trade for something like that, and it adds depth to that piece. And then if one of those if Walker or Dean go down with an injury or miss a couple of games, he could fill in as a starter, and it not be a huge crutch for us. It's not. So I would look at maybe from that standpoint. I wouldn't be so much sold on trading JPJ for an interior offensive lineman, because obviously we're trading him because we're happy with what we have.
Right.
Okay? So at that point, it's like we're going to use him for a different piece, even if it's a draft pick.
Yeah, you got him for what we draft him in the second round. If you can get like a third or fourth for him, that'll be a steal. My two would be, like I said, Kalijah Kancey, and my other one would be Kayvon Thibodeau. He's playing on his 5th-year option right now. So
no.
Oh, that like it being the Texans though is kind of interesting, because do you think
Harbaugh's
going to want to? You think Harbaugh's going to? John Harbaugh's going to want to trade with division rivals of Jim Harbaugh?
He try to win himself. He ain't got no choice.
True.
If it makes sense for the organization. But
what
he
about
is the
JPJ for
GM too, though, right?
I think John has GM powers.
Right,
that's what I mean. That was part of his contract agreement. Was he? Is in charge.
That's why they ex-nayed the GM that was there too with the head coach, because one of the conditions of him coming there was he was gonna have full stead of the roster.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Tank Dell?
I like Tank.
I love him before the injury.
He's another injury player, but that could be a possible player swap with JPJ.
That's a huge injury, though.
Yeah,
that's worse than Gerard McCoy. That injury was that bad.
Yeah.
And it's been almost 2 years, and he hasn't seen the field yet.
Yeah.
I like Tank, but I would. No, I like Tank, but you trading an injury guy for an injury guy. So
yeah. I mean, if Tank Dell's not injured, that trade's not happening.
Right.
Yeah. Tank Dell was on my fan when I played last time I played fantasy 4 years ago. He was on my. God, that was so much fun watching him. 3 catches, 150 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Those are some points.
I mean, ultimately, I'm still sitting in the position where let's just see what we got. Let's play the season out. Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Then we'll definitely know what our weaknesses are. We'll see what guys were flashing, what guys are definitely a no, what position group just absolutely hurt us.
Right.
I mean, if it ends up being our DB room is what hurt us, and we can easily point the finger to it, them being young, like that's a good problem to have, because they're going to grow. Maybe we add one more guy there to help provide competition, but they're going to grow and get better. I'm worried about the depth of our linebacker group, because Dean and Walker are both injury history players, and I think Dean's already has another injury.
I don't know.
He was missing.
They won't say, but my perception is that because of his past injury, it was that, and also too, his wife is going through studying for the bar exam, and they were getting settled down, and so there was some family stuff that he was taking care of as well. He was in the building. It wasn't like he wasn't in the building. He was in the building. It's just whether he was practicing, and
I thought he wasn't in the building at all.
No, he was. Well, he was there,
because that was a big deal. It was a big deal that he was there for that whole team media day thing.
Everybody was saying he had been there the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
He just wasn't on the field. He was in the training room.
Yeah. Yeah. Which they did that with Max, Gerard McCoy. I'm pretty sure I'm sure Brock got a day here, a day there, just recuperate, get your, get things right,
Get ready for day one
yeah,
of
because we're not going to win the season in OTAs.
Yeah.
We're just building the team. That's the biggest thing. We're practicing to learn how to practice. That's what we're doing. So if you already know how to practice at an NFL level, the OTAs are great because it's your bonding period. That's where you start to set the baseline of what the team is and start to create that identity for the 2026 season. But some of those guys, they really don't, it's cool that they're out there. Great. But they don't need all that work. It's the guy number 75, the 75th, 76th, 77th guy on the depth chart that he needs all the reps he can get to see what he's got in OTAs.
Yeah.
So,
looking at the notes again, is the front office comfortable? I mean, for me, answering that question, I'd be saying, hell no. As a front office, you should never be comfortable. You should always, how do I make this team better? Always.
mm-hmm.
And the problem, like me personally, I would have is pretty much having an itchy trigger finger trying to make something happen too early. It's, you got to be able to practice patience, but also have that hunger of wanting to get it going. So to kind of change the question is, should we as fans be worried if the GM or the front office isn't making moves or trying to make the team better instantly or like right now when we see a hole?
Go ahead, Dark Side. I'll let you answer that.
I mean, me personally, no, because again, you can see both sides of it. You can see the Los Angeles Rams type of front office who makes trades and do this and do that and do this and do that, or you can look at it as a team builder like a Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They build their team through the draft. They go in free agency signing a couple guys. They don't make the big splashy trades. The Philadelphia Eagles is another one. Right? They don't make the big splashy trades until it's time. AJ Brown, right? That's really the only trade that they had. Other than that, they just built through the draft. So
yeah,
I mean, you can see it on both sides, and the Chiefs. So I mean, they trade away guys. They don't trade for guys. But my thing is, I wanted to build through the draft. I said I want to build through the draft. I want to draft our guys. I don't want to trade for Antonio Brown. Not even that Antonio Brown. I don't want to trade for certain guys and then they not fit what we're trying to do. I'd rather just draft our guys, and then if it don't work out, it's my fault. It's my fault because we didn't draft them right. Not it's my fault because we traded draft picks for this guy.
I think a lot of GMs get themselves in trouble doing that, where they start making huge splash plays and they don't work out, and then all of a sudden there's a big bag of cash that has to go out the door, and there's not a return on the investment. Whereas at least through the draft, you're not sending huge bags of cash out the door, and the owner's not questioning it. He just sees that you're taking swings, little choppy swings at it, and then coming to. So, in the long run, I wouldn't be too pissed off if they just sit back with what they have right now, maybe make a couple small moves here and there, which is going to happen anyways. That's what GMs and pro player development guys, that's what they do. They might see somebody that's on another team that, hey, that guy's going to hit the practice squad. Let's see if we can't get a 6th or 7th round pick for him so he doesn't hit the open market on a practice squad and get him in here, type thing. Maybe something like that I'm okay with.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm okay with that.
And earlier I talked about the Vita Vea trade and the 3 and the 5th. I don't want to do that. I really don't. I agree with Darkside that giving up a 3rd round pick, that's a premium pick, and to give that up, to try and get him. Now I did state my case as to why. I mean, 3rd round picks, we can make those up, we could trade back, pick up an extra 3rd round pick like we did last year. Or we could package a 4th and a couple of 5ths or whatever that we have and move back up into the 3rd round. So, I mean, 3rd round's easy to manipulate, much easier than the 1st and 2nd round. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? I really truly believe that if you're going to do this, the slow and methodical, then do it slow and methodical. Don't all of a sudden, we're done. Oh, we're just going to trade for this guy. It's like, man, we could have had to use that first round pick for Jeremiah Smith next year because that surely would be our luck. We make that trade for Justin Jefferson, and next thing you know, we're sitting at number 4, and there he is coming to us. He would have felt right to us at number 4. Yeah, we don't have the 4th pick. We traded to the Vikings. They got him.
Yeah, when it comes to trading for players, I really believe you as the team need to be in the right position for it, as in, like, you're in the driver's seat. You already know you're a playoff team. Mm-hmm. You already know you can make a good push for that Super Bowl. What would help push us right over that line? Like how the Eagles were. The Eagles were building a very good roster. They were solid. What did they absolutely need? They needed a receiver. Okay, well, let's go get a proven guy. And they went and got A.J. Brown. They ended up winning a Super Bowl with them. Yeah. So us trading for players does not make sense right now because we're in the building stages. We need to be in that spot where we already have our foundation that's getting us to the playoffs consistently, and we're winning a couple playoff games. And then that's when I'm ready to make that offseason trade to go get a player to help push us over that line. You start making these trades too early, and you're sacrificing your foundational pieces from the draft.
Yeah.
So, next topic. It's not in the notes. It's in my notes. Fernando Mendoza, right now. There we go. Everybody in the chat, listen up. You know how I feel about Fernando. Fernando Mendoza right now is 3rd on the depth chart in OTAs. Okay. Got it. Totally understand. Right. What is your take, Dark Side, of him being the number 3 on the depth chart as we speak today?
Nah, I don't care about it. It doesn't matter to me. But again, I got faith in this coaching staff, unlike I did last year. Now, if this has been last year with Pete Carroll and all them and Chip Kelly, then it'd be like, okay, why, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if Clint says, hey, we're gonna have you as a 3rd string, and then you're gonna have to work your way up, and he's doing it for all other rookies because just about every other rookie was like 3rd, 4th, 5th string, right? He's making them learn as they go, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't have an issue with it at all. I don't have an issue with it at all. Even if he starts the season as 3rd string, it doesn't really matter to me.
Okay, Duncan.
Way I see it is just kind of on the depth chart purposes is you have your starting quarterback, and usually if you have a rookie on the roster who's not starting, he's the 3rd quarterback. Mm-hmm. Because your 2nd string quarterback is the guy who's going to go in and play in the game when your 1st string quarterback gets hurt. Now, when it comes to the following game after the injury, if that 1st string quarterback can't play, that's normally when you would see the rookie go in and start playing because nobody's seeing that 2nd string quarterback as a starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So with the situation we have now is Aiden O'Connell, my opinion, is a good backup. That's what he is a good backup. If Kirk goes down in a game, I don't want to go send my 1st string or my 1st round quarterback who's supposed to be our future into a game where my starting quarterback just got hurt in. I'm going to go send Aiden in. He's going to go finish out that game, make sure we get through it. And then now all next week, I'm prepping Fernando to go play. I don't want to send in a rookie quarterback in a weird situation of coming in the middle of a game because that can lead to another injury and get your quarterback in a bad situation. And then all of a sudden he starts forming bad habits because he wasn't prepped for that week. Mm-hmm. So him being 3rd string just means he's not going to go in the middle of a game when Kirk gets hurt.
But dude, check this out. He's the number 1 pick in the draft. Okay. Why ain't he starting? That's, to me, it doesn't make sense. Why isn't he starting day 1 if he's the number 1 pick?
Why would we have signed Kirk if that was the case?
Well, you drafted a guy number 1. He's supposed to be the guy at number 1. He needs to start.
I get what you're doing right now, But if we continue doing what we've done all off season and listen to the people that have been just telling us what they're going to be doing, and Spytek and Kubiak and Brady, they've all adamantly said they don't like starting a rookie quarterback.
Okay.
They've talked us through their plans. They've talked us what positions we needed help in. Like, they've consistently told us basically what they're going to do. And if you just take their words for it, they've been accurate the whole time. When Kubiak, I think it was during it was one of his interviews. I think it was the interview he had at the NFL Combine, where he was asked about the Raiders secondary, and he completely scoffed. Like, that gave you your answer right there, that he did not take our secondary seriously. Like, that was our biggest need.
Mm-hmm.
And that's at least how I took it. And then here we go, come draft time, we drafted 4 different players in the secondary. Like, they went, just listened to his interview, told us what we were going to be doing. Like, I'm just going to listen to the guys that have been talking and that actually have power in this franchise. And that's Kubiak, Spytek, and Brady. And they're going to give us the answers. They don't want the rookie quarterback starting.
So
Okay.
you don't think just throwing them to the fire is the best way for a quarterback to learn?
If that's what Kubiak, Brady, and Spytek agree on, then I'm not going to argue it. Like,
why not?
It's not my business to well, no, it is my business to argue it, but I'm going to trust the system. Because, look, the way I see it right now is this offseason has really felt different. Like, it's felt completely different than the last 20 plus years since we lost that Super Bowl. Like, this offense or this offseason actually feels like we're actually building something. We go and get the hottest coach commodity in this offseason, which, when was the last time we did that? Back in 2005 or whatever it was, when we got the Ole Miss quarterback, Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, like that was the last time we went and got a hot coach commodity. And here we have Spytek, who the whole time's been preaching basically patience. We're going to build this thing the right way. We're going to go get the free agents that we have confidence in as people, and we're not going to break the bank for them. We're going to go get pieces that can actually provide for this team, right?
But he's not going to learn holding the clipboard.
He's going to learn by being in that room with those coaches. He's going to learn by practicing with those coaches. Like, okay, Tom Brady's arguably the greatest player to ever play quarterback.
He needs to learn how to throw. He needs to learn how to throw a pass besides the shovel pass. Okay, all this shovel pass stuff that he did at Indiana, that's going to stop. He's got to learn. He needs to get out there and learn.
I don't think Mendoza even threw a shovel pass in college.
He didn't. Not one. It's crazy how that works out, huh?
Here's another twist to that shovel pass thing. Who does it extremely well and frequently?
Patrick Mahomes.
But Patrick Mahomes is a Hall of Famer, man.
Okay,
so you're going to compare. So you're comparing Fernando to Mahomes.
Here's the thing: is if my quarterback has a trait that can mimic that, then why not? Like, why is that a bad thing? Why is it a bad thing to have traits?
I don't know.
If all Fernando Mendoza can do is check down the ball, but he's making completions, like, well, guess what? We're gaining yards that way. Why is that a bad thing? If we're able to continuously move the ball with the traits he has, why is that a bad thing?
Well, I don't know.
I don't start Kirk Cousins week one is having Kirk Cousins on your roster after drafting a quarterback first overall is a positive in my opinion. Kirk Cousins isn't a slouch. I mean, he's not the greatest, but he's not a slouch, right? Yeah. He has success in this league. It's not like he's Andy Dalton. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins is pretty good. He's solid. Solid.
That's another thing is Kirk Cousins is a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, he's been successful for many years. And granted, he had the injury and he's had his little lumps to take with that in Atlanta, but predominantly Kirk Cousins is a very good starter in the NFL. And the only way Mendoza is starting in my book is if he flat out just completely outperforms Kirk.
Yeah,
Like,
against starting caliber defense, not quarter 4 in preseason game 2. That's not
yeah,
outperforming.
exactly. And even if they're like level, right? I'm still starting Kirk. Plus, on top of that, our offensive line is still a huge question mark. We went through what 3 straight seasons of having a predominantly shitty offensive line. The only time we had any success at all is when we ran the power offense for half a season under AP during his his magical run that got him the head coaching job.
So, anyways, anybody in the chat, if you guys are still in the chat, hit them thumbs, hit them subscribes, like buttons. I am sitting at 300 subscriptions. The magical 500 number, I will be doing some type of giveaway. Also, Duncan, we want to get him up as the season goes on, get his numbers up as well. Share the show, man. There's this 3-team panel right here has a lot of knowledge. Now, Darkside will be coming and going. He's already promised to fill in for me one day. I got you locked in, my friend. But as the show goes, you guys know, and everybody in the chat knows how I feel about Fernando. And my take on Fernando started back last October. I didn't wait till the end of the season and watch like the Natty and then go make my opinion. That's not what happened. And from what I saw from him at Cal, when I watched him at Cal versus what I saw at Indiana, I liked it. I liked what I saw. And there was more to it than just what you saw between the hash marks. There was a lot more to him that bodes well for a franchise quarterback, right? Number one, work ethic. Number two, he does not have any questionable flaws in his character whatsoever. 100%. Okay. And number three, he's dependable. Now, I've heard this, well, can he be a leader of men in a huddle with grown men? Right? He's going to check that box. He already has. There are guys in that organization right now that have been in the NFL for 3, 5, 7 years that actually respect how he's going about his business. He's going to earn the captain stripes. He's going to earn the respect as a leader. He's not going to walk into the building. I'm the number one pick. I'm the Heisman Trophy winner. I'm going to reshape this. I'm legendary. That's not him. He's not going to do that. So, but when you start talking about different cultural backgrounds and things like that and how he adapts and affirms himself to those different cultural backgrounds, he's already done it. He did it at Cal. He did it at Indiana. He meshed with teammates in both of those universities from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different cultural, societal, economic backgrounds. There's nothing in his repertoire of how he is. Now, and I take heed sometimes of people saying, making their opinions on him based on what they saw in a post-game interview on a sideline because he was in tears crying. Oh, look at him. He's a crybaby. Okay. Walk up to Chris Jones and call him a freaking crybaby after every national anthem. See how that works out for you, boys. And then when you're picking up your teeth off the sideline, let me know how that worked. This ain't about my feelings. This ain't my feelings. Okay. This isn't about how I feel. It's my judgment on what you are basing it on. Okay. And you have to read more into it. And if you read into if you look at his sit down interviews, they're pretty legit sit down interviews. The impromptu press conferences up at the front, and we all know this because we saw Rodney's documentary. He hit it square. This is where it drives everything perfectly into place. Is when he was younger, he had to overcome a severe stuttering problem, which hindered him as a young child. He attacked that with with therapy and things like that. He attacked it. It's still you never get rid of a stuttering problem. It doesn't just go away. Okay. it's still there. There's still a part of that in you. So when you start watching him and he talks like he's robotic or chat GTP or whatever other fucking description you want to give of him, that's fine. But just understand there's other people that had the same issue. Okay. That were great Raiders.
Yeah.
I don't care. Okay. I don't care. You ain't winning us games at a press conference. You ain't winning us games sitting down with Amber Theo Harris and doing an interview. Okay. That's not winning us games. But at the same time, it shows us who you are as a person, how much this game really means to you. Dark side, I'm going to throw this at you. I just tried to do a little exercise, and Duncan kind of knew it was coming, but he didn't quite know. My theory behind that was to question some of the people in Chatland and in Raider Nation who have a steadfast belief that he absolutely has to be played right now because he's the number one pick. Those things change. Okay. It is team by team, player by player, and coach by coach preference of how that is done. You agree or disagree?
I agree 100%.
Okay. So when you have a plan as a general manager and as a head coach and as a part owner who has tons of experience in the NFL playing quarterback, probably the greatest of all time, is you have a idea and a theory on how it should be done, because there are some quarterbacks that are thrust into the game because of where they were picked in a draft, just because of where they were picked in the draft, and they fall flat on their face. And I could tell you right now, Bryce Young is one of them. Had it not been for Canales coming in and doing what he did this past year and then drafting a wide receiver in McMillan to throw in there to help him out, I would probably say he would have been a bust after last year, after 3 years. I think they would have. I think Carolina, going into this year's draft, Carolina would have said, we're going to get off of him. We need a quarterback. But he did what he did. Huh?
I'm in the Carolinas, and I can tell you that that's true. Yeah. They was talking junk about Bryce Young. I was like, man, Bryce Young good, man. Just be patient.
Just be patient. Well, the thing, not only be patient, but give him the tools that he needs.
And give him he ain't have no weapons. Adam Thielen. But yeah, go ahead.
So this is my theory on this whole subject matter.
That was so dope.
Duncan, you can chime in, but I'm going to push this towards.
I do want to chime in real quick.
Go ahead.
The whole opinion about Fernando Mendoza's attitude is whatever. Like, you're allowed to hold your own beliefs, but ultimately the people's opinions that matter on that fact are his coaches, the front office, and his teammates. And just the other day, Nakobe Dean went on TV and said that Fernando Mendoza is already exudating aura, which I think I use those words wrong, but he's already showcasing aura. Like, he's showing that the guy is already there, and like he's showing something. He has something in him. Then so you got his teammate going on live TV and saying that stuff. Like,
not only that, look at the rookie premiere that they did, and he got that award.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what are you guys? What are you basing your opinion? This is obviously coming from people. Number one, never watched him play. Okay, they waited until all the hoopla after the season to make their opinions. Number one, and number two, they don't read the whole. You got to read the whole story. You just can't take bits and pieces of it and put it together and formulate some type of condition. Now, there are other people that do content that I 100% love them. They do a great job, and they nitpick some of the things that I 100% agree. But I can also say this with those situations. Okay, absence of proof is not proof of absence. So whenever you say he doesn't do this or he doesn't do that or he doesn't do enough of it, doesn't necessarily mean he can't, because there's already a proven track record that when he got to Indiana, there were things that were kneel on him that he corrected. Might not be perfect, but he made the corrections, and he's still putting the work in to make those corrections. I.e., what we're seeing now, taking snaps under the center, turning your back to the defense. Those are things that I myself, I didn't have a problem with, because he's the type of guy, he'll fix that. Now, getting back to the idea and the theory of playing him, Darkside, I'm gonna ask you this: you come from the Carolinas, right?
Hmm.
All right. You like barbecue?
Yeah, I love barbecue.
Brisket?
Yeah, burn ends.
Okay. How do you cook a brisket?
Low and slow.
Okay. So if I got a good piece of brisket and I turn my grill up or I turn my barbecue up to 475 degrees and throw that thing on the grill with just some salt and pepper and some garlic powder, is it going to be good? It might be, but it ain't going to be near as good as if you put it on that smoker for 225 degrees for 13 hours and
Yeah,
just take your sweet time, baste, let it just cook, keep the lid shut. If you're looking, you're not cooking, right?
all right.
Right. Also, too, add to this because you're kind of catching on where I'm going with this. If you throw that brisket on the grill and want to cook it in 35 minutes, you think you can get your sides done in time to prepare that meal? You think you can? You think you can throw some mac and cheese and some mashed potatoes and a salad and some garlic bread, throw that in there with it, and have a good meal? Or is it just you're just going to have a decent cut of brisket? Maybe might even taste like shit and not have tenderness, right?
Yeah.
You like where I'm going with this, don't you? Because I love
Yeah,
barbecue.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, everything is better when you take your time and do it right. Everything is
If
better.
you take your time and do it right, you can make your sides while the meat is cooking, and that's where Genty and Bowers and Naylor and Tucker and all those guys, they can get cooked too. And when you put it all together and you got a meal, it's outstanding.
Yeah, I think just the people that's complaining, they just want Arch Manning, man. That's really all it is. They just want Arch Manning.
Well, he's the first pick, and they want to throw. They want to throw. Yeah, well,
I don't even think he's going to be the first pick next year, but that's just my opinion.
And also, too,
my thing.
Go ahead.
My thing is, okay, for the draft, okay, you can have your opinion on who's the right pick or what we need to do with the pick, whatever. Like, completely valid to have your own opinion. It's fine. Yeah. Okay, draft's over with. Mendoza's our guy. Sign, seal, deliver. He's our franchise guy, at least for the next 4 years till we figure out he's not.
Right.
Hopefully that's not happening, but he's our guy. Why are we not going back and just supporting the guy now? Like, yeah, if you want to go on YouTube and like do film sessions and like study Mendoza and everything and like nitpick stuff, like that's fine. That's valid because you're actually bringing proof to what you're seeing and saying. But if you want to stand on this pedestal of saying Mendoza's not the guy all before the draft, and now he is the guy because the Raiders drafted him, and you're still going to say he's not the guy, like, why are you even talking? Like, I get it. Yes, I'm a believer in fan and how you want to fan, but you're just blatantly bashing a player that hasn't even played yet. Like, why are we doing that? Support your team.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well. And you 100%, and I stand firm on this. If you invest in a team, you buy the merchandise, you buy the tickets, you pay for everything, you do all that, you bleed silver and black as a Raider fan, you're a Raider, because it doesn't matter who's wearing the uniform today, because 20 years from now, I'm still going to be a Raider fan, and they're going to be out of the league. So at that point, it doesn't matter. We just want our legends. We want our people to do the right thing. To support a guy who's the number one pick, okay, we've only picked number one 3 times in our whole existence, and only 2 of them in the common draft. Okay, so just bear with it. If he's a failure, I will be the first to stand here and tell you I was absolutely 110% wrong and you were right. But the only way he's going to be a failure is if we fail him, not him. He's going to do everything in his power to live up to that number one standard as the number one quarterback, as the top pick in that draft. Now, is he going to be lights out like other number one picks? Who knows? But I can tell you this: look at the history of our quarterbacks. Look at the history of our quarterbacks of who we had in this franchise in its entire existence. What is the standard that we have? Because we can't have we're not getting Pat Mahomes with the number one pick. Okay. We're not getting Peyton Manning with the number one pick. Okay. We're not getting John Elway with the number 1 pick. We're not getting Joe Montana with the number 1 pick. We're getting who we got. We can make him the best that we need to make him to be. And if we can get production out of him like Eli Manning, I'll take it every day and twice on Sunday. And that's really that's the only threshold as a Raider fan. That's the only threshold that I have. Get us to that level. If he's a game manager, just be a freaking good game manager. I don't care. Just get us to that level. That's all I ask. Don't turn the ball over 3 or 4 times in a row like last year. You know, how many games did he have? He had 3 games with 3 interceptions. You know, don't do that. Get the ball to your playmakers. Let them do the damage. We'll see what happens. Okay? And Tom Brady was not an elite quarterback. He wasn't, but he was freaking good at what he did. And he made the best of, and he did what it took to make his team better. That's all I ask. I don't need you to be that guy that we need you to throw 350 yards. We're going to throw the ball 50 times today I need 350 yards and 3 touchdowns out of you. I don't expect that out of our quarterback. And you're
it from my offense play caller anyway. So
yeah, just score touchdowns. I don't if the quarterback throws it 2 times in the first quarter and we got 10 points on the board and we're up by 7 or we're up 10-0, dude, just keep going, keep doing what you're doing because it's all about it. Like last night, I was watching a YouTuber and the conversation of Kirk Cousins came up and this person is all about the AOC thing. And I'm like, okay, stop. We've watched AOC. We know who he is. We also know what Kirk Cousins is. Kirk Cousins is better than what we had with Derek Carr. To all you Derek Carr lovers out there. I love Derek Carr, but I'm telling you right now, Cousins has had a way better career than what Derek Carr had. Statistically, and he even won a playoff game. That ain't a whole lot, but it's one more than what Derek Carr won us.
Yeah.
To have him in the building with us to where our young quarterback can learn how it is to move an offense, control an offense, run an offense, utilize your weapons, and then build off of that. Because that's what Tom Brady did. His first 3 or 4 years in the NFL, he wasn't slinging it all over the yard. You know, he would have games of 17 completions on 24 attempts for 150 yards and a touchdown. They'd win the game. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Start from there. Then we'll get it. We'll get to the point where you're throwing 4 touchdowns, 4,000 yards. You know, you got 35 touchdowns, 4,000 yards. You're in the MVP.
I don't even care about the stats, bro. I only care about the stats. You can.
The only stat that matters is wins.
Wins and losses. That's all that matters.
The Raiders historically have had terrible quarterbacks.
Yep.
Throughout the whole franchise history, we have had bad quarterbacks. Rich Gannon and Derek Carr are the 2 best quarterbacks we've had in our whole franchise's history. Rich Gannon was short-lived, and Derek Carr, he had 9 years, which I think is the second longest tenured quarterback we've had in our franchise.
No, it's the longest.
It is the longest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought we had one that had 10 years. Mm-hmm. But, like, that's saying something for our franchise. It's like our 2 best quarterbacks were Rich Gannon and Derek Carr. Rich Gannon was middle of mid with the Vikings. And he comes and we're knocking on the Super Bowl. We made the Super Bowl. Should have made 2 with him.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Carr did not have a team around him at all. And we were a middle of the pack team with him. We've historically been a team when we were successful that built up the entire team to be successful. And then the quarterback came in and pushed us over the hump.
Yeah. The foundation of that team was built before Rich Gannon stepped in the building.
Yeah. I understand today's NFL is completely different. It's very quarterback driven, but you can still get that success with a great team. And if you have the right quarterback where he's not going to lose you the game and be able to be very methodical with the football. Like Jason said, Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady is not the best quarterback out there when it comes to arm strength, speed, running, like all that stuff. But he prepared for each game better than everybody else, and he knew how to be accurate with the football and how to bait the defense.
Yeah.
Like, if Mendoza can even do that, like, we're going to be able to be a good team with them.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. A good example. Love him, I hate him. Is Jalen Hurts. You might not like him, but he done been in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah,
He's doing something right. Something right.
The other thing to look there is like the Eagles have a very good roster, because I think it was last offseason we were all saying, "Oh, the Eagles have the best roster in the whole NFL. Like, they should be easy pushes for at least making the NFC Championship." Things didn't work out for them, but
I think the biggest
how talented their roster is.
The biggest problem with the Eagles is sometimes their coach can outcoach himself.
Yeah.
That's where they get themselves into trouble is they're not consistent with Saquon Barkley, and they're not consistent with the passing game. And then he also has his approach to his players is a little bit strange, how he interacts with his players. He's not consistent with, like, he has certain players that he has a certain type of relationship, and then others that he has other type of relationship, and you can't do that. Everybody has to be equal. You all are scumbags, well shit at the bottom of the ocean, okay? And prove to me otherwise. But I'm going to treat Max Crosby the same as I'm going to teach that UDFA that we just brought in from Brigham Young University. They're going to be coached the same, talked to the same, and interactions are going to be the same. There's not going to, because the moment you start showing favoritism in the building with your superstars is the moment that your role players decide, why should I give a fuck? He doesn't care about me. If he doesn't care about me, why do I care about them?
Yeah. Now, Kubiak is going to be very methodical in how he treats the players. Like, he's going to come in and treat every day the same, treat all of his players the same, and he's going to tell them the truth. And that's why all the players that he's coached before have come out and said that they love him. He's going to be who he is.
And he coaches them hard. It's not
players completely respect him because he is who he is. He's honest with those players and honest with himself, and he stays consistent every day.
Yep. And and a lot of coaches do kumbaya moments throughout the season. But like with Pete Carroll last year, he made it an emphasis to do that kind of stuff. Whereas with Kubiak, I think you guys got to put the work in before we do even, like the handshaking thing that they did is like, that's great. Love it. Camaraderie. We just lost 2 minutes of practice because of that. So if you guys want to make up that, speed it up. And then if we get to a point where we can kumbaya, we'll kumbaya. I mean, but you got to earn it. You got to earn your shield. You got to earn your kumbaya moments, Yeah,
actually earn your cigars.
Yeah. You
can't be smoking them after every win.
Yeah, which, I mean, that was cool, but that's time to move off of that type of stuff. Now it's time like, we're on to Cincinnati. As soon as you walk off the field, we're on to Cincinnati. Just like, and I'm not saying do it that way, the Belichick way, but something similar to that. You got to kind of, your wins and losses, you put them in your pocket and you move on. And then hopefully you can get in the tournament. That's what you want to do. You want to stack enough wins to get in the tournament.
Yeah.
So, but having said that, I think Dark Side's starting to fade on us a little bit there because it's 9 o'clock and he's tired. But we're going to hammer this out real quick. We appreciate you guys, everybody that's been in the chat, joining us. Once again, hit those likes, subscribes. I know with Duncan, we're moving our show to Sundays instead of Tuesdays. I will be bringing back Pride and Poise sometime during training camp, and then also 2 Raider Nation Voices with me and Jeff on Saturday nights, which is a call-in show. We're going to mix it up a little bit, but this show here, I think if we do it on Sundays and we really open it up and we flare it out, we're gonna probably do something a little different, give you guys more of a voice out there to come in and really express what your takes are. Because I know, especially like guys like Sacktown Mike, he comes in, he's got great takes. Money Chuck, great takes. Come in and show us who you really are as a fan. So we're going to kind of dive into the second one, the last one here. Throw this poll up if you guys want to. Anybody in the chat wants to partake in our poll. Which is most likely to happen? Number one, press 1 if you think make one more trade. Press 2, Brock Bowers becomes all pro. Press 3, Ashton Jennings rushes for 1,200 yards. Or press 4, our defense finishes top 10. So, fast-paced segment. One-shot answers. If you can expand on it, go ahead. Are you ready? Ready?
I'm ready.
The Raiders make one more trade.
No.
Okay. Defense finishes top 10.
No.
Brock Bowers becomes all pro.
Yes.
Maybe.
You're a maybe?
I'm a maybe.
Yes.
I'll stick to the maybe if he doesn't get hurt. If he stays healthy. If he gives us 15 healthy games, 16 healthy games, I think he makes all pro. Raiders make the playoffs.
No.
Little early for this, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyways. Raiders win total.
7.
8. I was about to say 8.
I'd be happy with 6. But I want 4 before I want 4 before we go into our bye. That's what I want. Whether or not it happens, that's to be seen. But if we can have at least 4 wins going into the bye week, I'll be super stoked.
I think I'd be happier with 6 wins all at the end of the season.
No. Oh, you mean just run the table, 6 wins at the end?
Yeah.
Go 0-12, go 0-11, and then win the last 6 games like we did with Derek.
More
Carr
like the
winner.
Lions.
Yeah.
Like the Lions. I mean, because like you could see they started off shit like the first 4 to 6 weeks. Like they looked like shit. And then all of a sudden it looked like, okay, they're right there. Are they going to be able to get the win? Like they're knocking. They're so close to getting that win. And then I think they had 2 different games where it was like nail biter where they were right there and they just couldn't finish. And then all of a sudden they got their first win. And that was the second one. I think they ended up with like 4 wins in the season, but they're all at the end. Like their whole season, like actually had a story of progression. Like it was really cool to watch.
Right. What about you, Darkside?
I'm gonna say 8. Okay. I don't think we last year it was a funuckle. I don't even know if that's a real word, but last year was just crazy. I feel like we could have won more games last year than we should have, and I feel like a better coaching staff and legitimate quarterback play, offensive play calling is gonna give us at least 2 wins. So that's 5 there.
No. And I think a defense is going to play much better.
Yeah.
I think a defense is going to play much better and get off the field. See, a lot of last year, a lot of people, the offense led. They just because of the offense, the defense had to be on the field all the time. Dude, there's at least 4 games in which the team got the ball at the beginning of the game or at halftime and drove it down our throat. 9-minute drives, 18 plays, and score. I mean, seriously, we play a team, they get the opening kickoff, and they click off 9 minutes in the first quarter and score a touchdown before our offense even, and you're going to blame that on the offense? I mean, come on. The defense has got to do their part, get off the field. You got to get the offense more bites at the apple. Get turnovers. Turnovers make a huge difference, man.
That's the thing, too.
Yeah. Mine Chuck came in saying, I think Denty has potential to go 1,400 plus yards rushing this season. Just hope our O-line performs, is healthy, and we bell cow him.
I think 1,200 is fine. 14 is.
Yeah.
I think 1,200. I had him at 1,100 last year as a rookie. And, but 970 yards, 950 yards.
Yeah, but I think the more important number for him this year is going to be the all-purpose yards because he's going to see a lot more passing this year.
Yeah.
So, like, you combine 1,200 with like 250, 350 passing or receiving yards, like that makes a big difference.
No.
Yeah.
But also too, Kubiak's not the type of guy that's going to say, "Oh, Genty's he's got 4 carries for 12 yards. We're gonna start throwing the ball a little bit more, Gino. So, let's see." No.
Kubiak's the kind of guy that looks at time of possession and how many total yards they got. He doesn't care how many carries it takes to get there.
There's a threshold that he wants to get to, and he'll use 3 backs if he has to use 3 running backs. He'll use 3 running backs.
Yeah. No, but Genty will be the bell cow for sure, and the other running backs will come in situationally.
Yeah, and I still think Washington is going to steal some thunder. He's not going to be the starter. He's not going to be RB1, but there are going to be situations where he is going to be RB1. They're going to look at, depending on the type of defense that they're playing, how they schematically want to go about it, and with his skill set and the way he is, that it's like, okay, we're going to start Genty, but you're coming in real quick in the first quarter, and you're going to get a lot of reps in the first half and into the third quarter. So just be prepared. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be RB1 over Genty, but let's go back to Michael Bush and Darren McFadden. There were games where it was a Michael Bush show and Darren McFadden, and a lot of times it was because Darren McFadden would get hurt. We had to go with Michael Bush, and Michael Bush he just got hot, and it's like, okay, well, we got to kind of stay with him. He's a hot hand right now, and I gave him more time to ease Darren McFadden back in, but it still was.
Genty's a much better player than Bush, and Washington is possibly just as electric as McFadden is
in the open field.
Yeah,
in the open field. McFadden was pretty powerful between the tackles, though. You got to admit that he was a hard hitting fool when he had the ball.
Yeah, until his turf toe.
Well, that turf toe was bad, man.
No, but I think, like, to your point of like Washington being the lead back, it's going to look in the form of like 6 to 10 carries for like 80 to 120 yards compared to Genty having 20 carries for 100 yards. Like,
so the averages are going to be higher on the
lead
Washington side.
back. It's just Washington will have the stats that are randomly sprinkled in compared to Genty.
And Genty has the ability to soften the interior defensive line with this power.
But
but we're not going to run a whole lot of power.
Washington has a big fumbling issue, and if he cannot hold onto the ball, he's going to see less and less of that field.
Yep.
And I think there's a reason why Lobby all of a sudden started getting a little bit of his name mentioned a little bit more and more so far this offseason is Washington. I have a feeling already put the ball on the ground a little too many times. Because even though they're not hitting and stuff, people are putting their hands in there, and then they have all the running back drills. Yeah. Because they got to teach those running backs to hold on to the ball even when pads aren't on.
Yeah, he better learn how to cradle, even if he has to do the old barber cradle. Like, what's his barber from? When he had to hold it up into his shoulder and put the point in his elbow. But hey, man, great show tonight, guys. I know Darkside's looking. He don't want these numbers over there. So, for those of you guys that don't know, if you're still in the chat, Raiders First Downs right here. That's me. In the middle here, we got Darkside OB. Check out his channel. He doesn't have a whole lot right now, but I'm sure when football season gets going, you'll be cooking up some daytime drama for us.
Yeah.
And then my partner down there at the end with the beard and the glasses is Donuts Duncan, and he'll be with me as we go through with the Show Me the Shield show. Looking forward to getting some other guests on, some that have been on here before, and maybe a couple new ones. We'll see. I got feelers out, but for those of you guys that are in chat, man, share this show with other people. Let them know. And then also get in here with your chats, man. Let us, it's you guys that keep us pushing the content out. As these two guys right here could tell you, I could talk all day, but would rather talk with you. So there might be some changes in the format of this channel, so to speak. So I'll keep that to myself and my co-host Duncan, and we'll go from there. But in the meantime, any final words for you guys?
Do we want to do chatter of the show?
Oh yeah, chatter of the show. I have my pick. Go ahead.
Do you want pick and reason or just pick?
Just go ahead and throw it out there.
I'm gonna say Sacktown Mike is today's chatter of the show.
Not bad for coming in late.
Well, here's my reasoning: is he went in and he saluted everybody that commented.
Yep.
Minus a few people, but he went in and saluted everybody. Jumped to another showing. So like whether he went from my show to your mobile show, saluted everybody in there, and then went to your regular show, your big screen show, and then saluted everybody there. He's showing love to everybody everywhere. So that,
and we love Sacktown Mike. Hopefully we can get him on the show again one day and pick his brain a little bit more on a personal level instead of through chat. But yeah, definitely Sacktown Mike's a good one. But I'm gonna let Darkside, who you got for the top chat of the chat stream?
It was between IE Raider Mike and Alex. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Alex because he said Justin Jefferson is not a diva, and I agree with that.
Yeah, and that's the exact one that it's the most powerful one we had. Money Chuck, salute to you, brother, but you already won once, and hopefully someday we'll maybe throw some tickets in there, not tickets to a game, but maybe some prizes or something, like a gift card or something in there for when we start doing this more and more and more. But I really enjoy, everybody, those of you that were in the chat, and my pick for tonight is Alex.
Yeah, I got Alex too.
Alex,
congrats,
Alex, you are the winner of Show Me the Shield Chatster for this episode, and we appreciate you coming in. And my final thoughts are: still got 4.5 more weeks till rookies report. A lot of things can happen. Keep your nose to the grindstone, your ears out wide, listening. If anything pops up, we'll bring it to you on a Sunday afternoon, and so be it. We enjoy doing this, and once again, we do this for you guys, and it's been a lot of fun. So, like I always say, once a Raider, always a Raider. And salute to you guys. Just win, baby. And we always say, Duncan, because the boss says we have to, go Raiders. Come on.
Go Raiders.
Cold open, counted out. Yeah, we heard the talk. Cold nights and long losses, still we walk. Scoreboard hurt, but the heart stayed real. Still wear the black, still flash the shield. From Oakland roots to Vegas dust, pain in the season, but we still trust. They say it's over, I say move